Hi, welcome to Maknoja TV, and today my video is about internet and its security. I'm going to show you how to set up a wireless router, how to set up an internet and wireless router and the computers and everything. And I'm going to also talk about security, how to secure your network. One thing I want to say before I start this tutorial is that why do you need a security? Because these days you use your internet for all purposes. You're paying your bills online, you're checking your balances online, and you're doing a whole bunch of different stuff. So in order to make sure that no one can get into your network, you need to secure your network, because you never know who's getting into your network and getting all that important information. So we're gonna start with setting up the internet connection. This picture right here in front of you, you see this picture right here. This is a simple setup. This is how you set up your home or office network. This cloud is right here is an internet cloud, and then the telephone wire goes to your DSL modem, and behind your DSL modem there is an Ethernet port, which the Ethernet wire is a little bit bigger than telephone wire. Telephone wire is kind of small. Ethernet wire, Ethernet connector, RJ45 connector is a little bit bigger than the category 3 connector. So behind that DSL modem, you're gonna put the Ethernet wire. You're gonna take the Ethernet wire and put it into your router's WAN connection, which is WAN WAN. And with that WAN port right here, you're gonna have 4 more ports to share with all the other computers that you have in your house. Let's say if you have 4 computers in your office, you can use that router's built-in switch to kind of provide a connectivity to those 4 computers. Yeah, if you have more computers, then you have to buy a separate switch for that and connect that routers to the switch, and then provide all connectivity to all those other computers and stuff. So this is a simple connection. As you can see, this is how in this picture, this is how you set up your home or office connection. So now we're going to talk about how to get into the network, how to get into your router's interface. We're going to click start, and we're going to click run. In the run window, we're going to type CMD right here, and we're going to hit enter. And once we're going to hit enter, we're going to have a command line interface. Click open command line interface right here, and in the command line interface, we're going to type ipconfig. And once we're going to type ipconfig, we're going to see a IP address, which is the computer's physical address. We're going to type not physical address, it's a computer address, and we're going to type we're going to see a subnet mask, and then we're going to see a default gateway. The default gateway is your router's address, or it's your modem address. If you don't have a router, and if you're just working with your modem, then this is your modem address. So you write this modem address, you write this default gateway address down somewhere, and once you write it down, you open your web browser, which happens to be Internet Explorer or Firefox, either one, whatever you got. It doesn't really matter, but you can open, or Safari. Once you open your internet browser, in the address bar, you're going to type in 192.168.1.1. Now you're going to type your default gateway. Mine's happen to be 192.168.1.1. Once you're going to type in, and once you're going to hit enter, it's going to ask you to put a username. By default, if you just bought a router, you're going to put admin. That's how it comes. By default, it comes like admin as a username and admin as a password. If password is not admin, you can try to look for the serial number. You can put the serial number as a password. I put something else, so I'm going to put my password in, and once I'm going to put the password in, and it's going to let me get into the router's interface right now. Okay, now once I'm in the interface, see, I have a Linksys router, but every router has every home or small office router has a same connectivity. Now we are not talking about the Cisco routers and everything, so we are just talking about the home-based routers. So as you can see right here, the first page option is, as you can minimize these options right here, you can see there's several options. Static IP, you can see PPTP and L2TP, and these are different protocols and different things. DHCP, automatically configuration DHCP. If you're not sharing an internet connection, and if you are just working in your local area network and just trying to provide a connectivity in your office or your home without an internet connection, you just want to share files and everything, then you go with the DHCP and everything. You don't need to provide any username or password. But for for obtaining an internet connection from your modem, you need to click on PPPoE, which is point to point over Ethernet. That's what DSL use. That's a DSL use. And once you're gonna click that option, you're gonna have to use a username. You're gonna have to put the username, the one that your ISP provided. If maybe it's a Verizon, maybe it's a AT&T, maybe it's a Altel, whatever it is. So you're gonna put the username and password, username in there. You're gonna put your password, the one that you set it up when you got the internet service, and the router name. You can put anything, whatever you like. And as you can see right here, it's a DHCP server is enabled. By default it's gonna be enabled, and starting IP address is right here. You can put that anything. You can put that from 0 to from 1 to from 1 or from 2 to all the way to 254. Doesn't really matter, but by default it's set to 100. And right here, the main option right here, it says maximum numbers of DHCP users. Now that's a tricky part right here. 50 computers can connect to this router right here easily, and I mean more computers can connect it to the router, not maximum 50, but by default it's 50. But what you want to do is you want to drop down this 50 numbers to as many as computers you have in your home or office. If you have 10 computers in your office, you can drop down to 10 computers. If you have 20 computers in your office, you can drop down to 20 computers. The reason I'm saying this, if you have 3 computers in your home, then you can drop down this numbers to 3. So only 3 computers gonna get the IP address from this, obtain the IP address from this router. Because if you have 3 computers and you have a 50, if you're gonna leave 50 over here or 100 over here, and if somebody's gonna try to get into your network, your router is gonna assign a IP address to the XY person, whoever is trying to get into your network. But if you're gonna drop down to the numbers of computers you have in your home or office, then no other person is gonna able to get the IP address, obtain IP address from your router. So that's the first trick to secure your network. Then you make sure you always, any save changes you do, make sure you save settings, otherwise it won't be saved. Now I want to talk about wireless. This is the wired connection we talked about. Now in the wireless connection, there are 3 different kind of securities that you can do. First we're going to talk about setting up. Now wireless network mode, there are 2 options. Actually there are 3 options. One is a mixed, there is another one is a B only, and then there is a G only, and there is an N router too these days. But I'm just saying, like if you have a G router and if you have some device that has a older B adapter or something, so make sure you leave it on a mix, because if you're gonna leave it on mix, so what's gonna happen is any adapter that is a B or any adapter that is a G compatibility, they all can access to your router. They all can get a connectivity through your router. If you're gonna put it on G only and your maybe a laptop or maybe your PD or maybe any other device that you have is a B configuration, it won't get any access to your router. So you leave it on a mix, and make sure you also change your SSID name. This is your wireless network name. You don't leave it as a default. Make sure you change it to whatever you like. Make sure you change it to anything, but don't leave it as a default. And the wireless channel, there are 11 channels, 1 through 11 channels. Now I want to mention one thing over here, that if you see so many wireless access points in your neighbor, or right outside your office building, so many wireless access points you see, so there is an interruption. And if you think that your internet connection is kind of slow or something, so just try to switch around with these channels. I'm not talking about the wired channel, I'm talking about wireless channel. If you think your laptop is connected to your router wirelessly and it's not getting good connectivity or something, just try to switch around, just switch around to these channels and everything, and see if the connection is any better or is getting worse or something. But what happens is, when so many access points are in the same area or same, they are close to each other and they are using the same exact channel, so what happens is that there is an interruption happens. And once the interruption happens, so it affects your bandwidth. So just if you happen to think that your internet connection is not working properly, wireless connection is not working properly, just change the channel and you will see some difference. Now we're going to talk about this option right here, wireless SSID broadcast. If you're going to enable this broadcast, what's going to happen is, anybody sitting with a laptop right outside your house is going to try to look at the access point, they're going to see your network. They're going to see your network, whatever your network name is. They're going to see that. But if you're going to disable the broadcast ID, what's going to happen? No one can see it. You are the only one who knows the name of your SSID, and you can put that manually into your wireless access points. I mean, to your laptop or whatever the device that you're trying to connect. You can just put the SSID name manually without broadcasting it. But don't get me wrong, if you're going to disable it, that doesn't mean that they're not going to see it. With the right software they can see it, and with the right software they can obtain your packets and everything too. So I mean, there are tools out there to see it, but this is just one extra security feature that you can